Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing? If you're new to this channel, to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope everybody's doing good today. Beautiful day up here in Michigan. I see that people are still being hard-headed. There's a lot of people. I'm not going to just say black people because it's not just black people. It's white people, people, I guess, of all races that are not taking this coronavirus seriously. They're just not taking it seriously, And I don't know what it's going to take for people to take it seriously. People still walking around with, well, it's a lot of people that are wearing masks, but people are still congregating. And for black people, black people like to go to the park and shoot hoops. And I was passing by the park the other day. We have a park in the predominantly black neighborhood. Not going to tell you what they call it. I'm going to call it the African American Park. They call it something else, but I'm not going to use that word on here. Mostly black people go to this park. Predominantly black people go to this park. And I was driving past it the other day, and I seen a lot of people out there playing basketball. I only seen one person with a mask on. They wasn't practicing social distancing. And I thought to myself, I said, see, this is the reason why black people are getting the coronavirus. The death rates and the infection rates is going up with black people, because this is what black people do. Black people, and it's not just black people. I'm not going to say it's just black people. There's a lot of people that are not taking this thing seriously. There's protesters up here in Michigan. They up there protesting and stuff. And they're in groups, congregating in groups and stuff, and they're not wearing masks. It was this one protester that actually came down with the virus. And now he's realizing, giving people warnings and realizing how serious this really is. A lot of people are upset. And this is national. The fact that a lot of people are upset with our governor up here in Michigan. Now, I don't get involved with politics. I'm taking a neutral stance. But this has made national news. That a lot of people are upset with our governor because she's making the decision to extend the stay at home. And she's doing it to keep everybody safe and healthy. Michigan is the third state with the highest infection corona rate numbers. The third highest. And this is the reason why she's doing what she's doing. People are not reading, they're not looking at the news. Now, like I said before, it's not a good idea to be on the news 24/7 or you're going to worry yourself to death. I made the decision to not do that. But come on, at some point you got to tune in for at least 5 minutes a day to find out what's going on. And a lot of people are upset because they're like, well, this goes against my rights, and they don't want nobody telling them what to do. It's a pride issue. It's a pride issue. They don't want nobody telling them what to do. Well, if this is going to save your life, if practicing social distancing, wearing a mask, if this is something that's going to save your life, it's going to save your family's life. Because people, even if you're asymptomatic, you can come home and transmit it to somebody, an elderly person or someone in your family that their immune system might not be as strong as yours. And then they can contact the virus and they can die. This is what's happening. And people are letting pride get in the way of using common sense and doing And then what's happening is they're congregating in these groups, protesting and things like that, and they're getting the virus. And then they understand why these rules are in effect. So I just think it doesn't show a course of wisdom. I think it's ignorance. I think it's stupid. People are not taking heed. People are still being hard-headed. And the hospitals are overwhelmed. And that's another reason why they're having these stay-at-home rules the way in these businesses closed, restaurants and things like that, because the numbers in the hospital have been overwhelming. The hospitals have been overcrowded with people coming down with the coronavirus, and they don't want the hospitals to be overflowing. The hospitals have been overflowing with cases. And that's another reason why they have the rules. It's a reason why they have these rules in place. It's not to make your life complicated. It's not to make your life difficult. It's not to tell you what to do. So, I mean, you don't want to listen to your government doing something that is best for your health and everyone else's. So that means you don't listen to God either. They're not listening to the government that's doing what's best. Then that means they're not listening to God. That's all that means. You don't listen to God. You're not going to listen to the government that's telling you what's best. Because when God put his rules in the Bible, when he wrote the Bible and he put the rules in the Bible, those rules are for our protection. He put those laws in the Bible for our protection. It's for our protection. And that's the same thing that our government is doing right now. They got these rules and laws in place right now for our protection. It's for our protection. It's to keep us healthy and to keep us safe. It's not to make your life complicated. It is not to restrict you. It is not to tell you what to do or whatever. And a lot of people are taking this thing personally with the governor. They're making personal attacks against her, and they're taking it too personal. It's not personal. She's trying to save people's lives. The hospitals have been overflowing with cases. Up here in Detroit, the death numbers are high in Detroit of this thing. They're very high. And people are not taking it seriously. They're not taking it seriously. This is the reason why I just was looking at the stats. New York has lost 22,000 people. They lost 22,000 people to the coronavirus. And people still running around here thinking it's a hoax and thinking that it's not serious. And saying they don't want to stay home and they want to go back to work. But they don't understand that if they go back to work, they're putting themselves at risk of getting the virus. Essential workers, when we go to work, we're at risk. We're at risk. We're at risk of catching the virus. Of course, we take our precautions, but we're at risk. The safest place for you right now is at home, especially if you work amongst a lot of people. And people just don't get it. If you're getting your unemployment check, why are you worried about being at home? If you're getting your unemployment check and the government is, people getting extra $600, some people get more money on unemployment than they get working. What you worried about it for? I would love to get paid to stay at home. I would love to get paid. Pay me to stay at home. Pay me to stay at home. I'm jealous of both of my sons, because my other son just got his unemployment. They're basically getting paid to sit at home and do nothing, or drive around or whatever. That's what they do. But I still got to punch a time clock because I have an essential job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to get paid to sit at home right now. I can use the time off work. Yeah. So People are not taking this thing seriously. And they're being hard-headed. And more in the death rates numbers. And they say when the fall comes, it's gonna hit again. And you never know, it might be a different strain. Because there's different strains of this thing. People don't realize that. There's different strains of this thing. You know? My question is, and my two sons are still not taking it seriously. And there's, other people that's not taking it seriously. What is it going to take for people to really connect the dots? That this thing is serious. I was just looking at CJ Cool's video today. Now they just had 2 twin babies, and the babies were preemies. Now everybody knows that when you have preemies have a compromised immune system. You have to be careful what you're doing with them. They have a compromised immune system. That he took them babies to the mall and had the babies out. First they were covered up, and then he took them out of the car seat and had them all in the mall with no covering on. They don't have no mask on. I wrote in the comments section, I said, you got to take this thing seriously. I said, those babies have a weakened immune system. They can't be out like that with no covering. I don't know what he was thinking. Talking about there's no coronavirus. I'm like, what? See, that's just ignorant. I mean, I love CJ Cool. I love the CJ Cool and his family. I enjoy watching his channel, but come on now. That's not taking the course of wisdom. That's being ignorant. Are we supposed to exercise faith in God? Yes. But we got to work in accordance with our faith. And we got to take the necessary precautions. That's just like the doctor tells you, you need this medicine, it's going to keep you alive. You going to refuse to take it? That don't make no sense. If it's going to keep you alive, then you're going to take it, right? The government is doing what is best. I'm just seeing these people, I'm just shaking my head. I said, what is it going to take? It's going to take somebody to die in their family or for them to get it. And that protester that got it, he making videos to say, oh, this is serious. Well, you should have realized that out there when you was out there running your mouth. Talking about somebody going against your rights. Ain't nobody trying to go against your rights. They trying to keep you safe, fool. They're trying to keep you healthy, fool. Trying to keep everybody else healthy. And then people are shooting people because they getting mad because somebody telling them to put on a mask. That's just ignorance. It's ignorance. I got to go in the store right quick. Hit me up in the comment section. And make sure you like and subscribe this video. Peace and love. This is Sweet June.